What is going on, guys? They call me Ampy. Welcome to another video on the channel today. Today's video, I wanted to give you guys some tips when starting up Ghost Recon, specifically 5 things new players should know when starting up the game. Ghost Recon launches in about a week from today, and I hope some of these tips will help you guys even post-launch of the game for the days to come. So here they are in no particular order, 5 tips for new players for Ghost Recon Wildlands. So starting off with number 1, we have XP display. So shout out to DigDugDac for teaching me this in the closed beta. You can head over into the options and actually turn on XP display for almost everything you do in Ghost Recon. Spotting enemies with your drone, spotting enemies with your binoculars, shooting enemies and killing them all grant you some sort of experience. You guys can see that on your HUD when you enable this option. So overall, a really useful tool, and I don't know why it's not enabled by default in the game, but I really encourage you guys to turn that bad boy on the second you step foot in the world. If you want a breakdown for everything Ghost Recon, this is going to be the option for you. Now, speaking of the HUD elements in Ghost Recon, a lot of players prefer to play the game this way. You can disable specific elements of your HUD in the options menu. Specific things like input reminders, crosshairs, mini-maps, markers, all of that can be turned off at your leisure, or you can take it one step further and disable all of the HUD options at once for the most bare-bones Ghost Recon experience there is. The game really takes on an entirely new experience when you don't have input reminders, you don't have a mini-map to follow, you don't have indications of where enemies are. All that sort of stuff changes the gameplay and the pacing. That goes without mentioning the screenshots you could take when the HUD is out of the way, and you can just admire Ghost Recon for how beautiful it is. And that leads us to tip number 3, which is camera field of view. So if you're a PC player, the option exists for you. Go into the options menu and change your field of view to whatever you'd like. But if you're on console like I was, it was a little bit more difficult to find this option for screenshots and admiring Bolivia for what it is. So this goes for everybody on console. You're going to want to hold your weapon swap button for a few seconds. That'll take you out of third person and expand your field of view just a little bit, and you'll no longer be holding any weapons in your hands. So of course on PC it's a little bit more fluid and the option specifically exists, but console guys are going to have to make do with what they have, and I think it works for what it does. Now, a feature you don't find in a lot of other games, and I was surprised that Ghost Recon has this feature enabled, you can edit your appearance post character creation. So open up your lobby or attack map menus by pressing select, hover over the skills or loadout tabs. Either one is going to work for you. Press Y and you can edit your appearance post character creation. So it's important to keep in mind that the features you cannot change after character creation are gender, face, as well as eye color, but everything else is fair game for you. Helmets, camos, pants, sweaters, backpacks, everything, patches. If you're going to be swapping landscapes a lot and you want to blend into the environment, or if you're just getting bored with the look of your ghost, feel free to head over to this option and change your appearance as you see fit. And finally, for number 5, you can change your default aiming mode. That is whether or not you want to go into first person or third person every single time you ADS. I've been hearing a lot of complaints about how clumsy and awkward it is to be playing in third person than having to go into first person every single time you ADS. You can bypass that by changing the default aiming mode to over the shoulder and then toggle your aiming mode to every single weapon or your currently equipped weapon. So this feature makes it very easy for players to go into third person every single time they ADS. You never have to play in first person if you dislike that mode. Unfortunately, there is no first person only option. On the other side of the coin, Ghost Recon is a third person shooter with first person elements for ADSing. So if you're one of the guys that loves first person, you want to make Ghost Recon a first person only experience, unfortunately you're out of luck in this case. So thank you guys so much for watching. These have been 5 tips for new players, and I really hope some of the veteran guys have gotten something out of this as well. If you're into some more Ghost Recon content, there's an annotation on screen as well as a playlist in the description that'll take you to some other videos. If you're missing my Ghost Recon Wildlands Gold Edition giveaway, be sure to enter that as well. I'll link that in the description for you guys. I have been Ampy. I'll see you guys on the next video.